At the corner of 8th and Cass Street in downtown Traverse City, you'll find the old Town Playhouse, and this is the stage door. Hello, welcome to Stage Door. I'm Don Kuehlhorn. Today we're going to talk about a new show opening at the Depot Theater, plus 2 audition announcements and more. So let's get started, shall we?
You get halfway through it and it's like, ah!
S.D. DeMerchant. You know, I don't believe I've ever said your last name.
It's DeMerchant, actually.
And that's why I've never said it.
A lot of people think it's weird.
Yeah?
It's actually from an illiterate ancestor. He fought on the wrong side of the Revolutionary War. His last name was originally Kaufman. Got land granted to him from the Crown up in Canada. Didn't want people knowing that he was, you know, fought for the British.
Right.
So he wanted to change it to Merchant, and his middle initial was D. So he's like, my name is John D. Merchant. And he couldn't correct him because he couldn't read.
Oh, there it is.
So it's literally simple, but with my first name and last name, people think I'm S.D.
Yeah, well, it's very,
Which
very
sounds
posh.
very nice, but maybe I'll change it to that.
And you are the director of the next in line studio show.
Yeah.
The Little Dog Laughed?
Yep, the Little Dog Laughed.
Little Dog Laughed, all right. This is an adult show.
Very adult.
Okay. Can you tell me something about it that's for a general audience?
It's definitely a story about what is beautiful and what is normal and what is good. And what society views and what the fantasy world kind of views of it. And it's told in a way that some people would describe it as a gay romance, and it is, in a sense. The romance that happens is between 2 men.
Okay.
But it's really like what is beautiful and normal, and is something like that beautiful and normal.
Goes up when? Let's get this business out of the way.
Oh, of course. February 1st.
Okay. What's your start time?
7:30 is curtain.
7:30 curtain. Okay.
So house will open up at 7.
And this is at the Depot.
Mm-hmm.
This is the alternate space down near the library.
Yes.
Kind of area. All right. So tell me about yourself. You're a first-time director here.
I am.
Is it as easy as you thought it would be?
No.
All right.
I've yelled at quite a few of my directing friends that they didn't warn me about how much work it was going to be to direct. Because I knew the basic concepts. I'm like, okay, you got to do blocking, and you've got to get a team together. But like, I was just thinking, I guess I never thought beyond like, I got a lighting designer, yay! But I didn't think, oh, well, I should tell the lighting designer what I want.
Typically, that helps a lot.
It does. And so it's been one of those, and I've been trying to tread very carefully because I'm generally a stage manager. So I'm used to micromanaging and getting all the details organized and going through that and making sure every little thing is in its place. And as director, I can't do that because I don't have the time. Because if I tried to micromanage everything, I wouldn't get anything done for the actual show.
Right.
So it's been hard to deviate from that, and it's been a learning experience. But I've worked under some really fantastic directors at the Playhouse as a stage manager, and so I feel like I've got a great group of people I can go to with questions, and I've gotten to observe a lot of people and how they operate and how they function. And so I've just been kind of taking like things I like from each director I've worked with and putting them together and utilizing that. So it's been interesting.
Now I see, you're in the Depot, which is typically a black box, and I see you have a simple set here.
Yes.
And it's also a thrust, which means you have 3 sides that you're working with. Typically we don't have that in the main stage. So that's kind of a new thing for you, I would imagine.
It is actually, because for all the experience I've had at the Playhouse, because I do at least 2 or 3 shows a year, it's always been a proscenium stage. It's always been, the audience is in front. So it was a big learning experience, and it took a while for me to get comfortable with the fact that I'm going to have audience on all 3 sides. It makes it more challenging and more interesting. And I realize the perspective you can get from sitting in different places, and the different story that you have to be able to tell by having people on all sides watching, because you want everybody to have the same story and the same experience. So that's been really difficult, and I've never done anything in the Depot. Mm-hmm. So it's like for all the shows I've done, it's always been main stage. It's always been, and they've always been big shows. Like I've always done like big musicals for the most part. And so it's been.
This isn't a big musical, is it?
No, it's 4 people.
4 people. So you get up and close and personal with them in your directing.
Yes.
Because in a stage manager or even a directing role on a big stage, you can't quite go to every person. But here, you get the opportunity to do that. How's that working for you so far?
Oh, it's been great. I've loved every second of getting the opportunity to work so closely with people and getting to have. I've managed to have a couple of rehearsals devoted to just one person, which has been great. I feel like it's really helped with character development. It's really helped with them understanding where I'm coming from as a director and where I want the show to go, and me being able to connect with them and them being able to give their points of view on their character to me, and me being able to go, I like that, we're going to go with that. Meaning the actors get a lot more input in with what they want and where they see the characters are going. Because in the end, as much as the show is my vision and as much as I want to see what's going to happen with it, it's not, in the end, it's not me up on stage.
Right.
It's not me.
February 1st, 7:30 curtain. That's a Friday. And then how long does it run?
We run for that weekend and the 2 weekends after, so we close on the 16th.
Okay. StageDoor Merchant. Yes. Thank you. And break a leg.
Thanks, Tom.
I always start off my interviews with all right. however you do that. We're here at the Studio Theater, Depot Theater, with Jeffrey Wallace, who is the director of our last show in the studio this season, right?
That is correct.
That'll be Pillowman.
Yep.
And tell me, Jeff, Pillowman, what's that about? Is this another adult themed play?
Definitely,
Okay.
Don. Pillowman is a play that's going to ask you to challenge your senses in a way, to make you face those everyday things you kind of put at the back of your mind that you really don't want to face.
Okay.
And it'll make you question a lot of things when you walk out. Things like art, expression of that, perhaps writing, how writers are treated in different countries. All these different themes are hopefully going to be mentioned.
Okay. Now, you're a first-time director.
Yes.
How'd you get thrown into this as a first-time director?
Well, I kind of got lucky, I guess. As it turns out, everyone wanted to act and not direct for this particular show. And I said, well, there's no roles that really fit my age range. So it was something that interested me. I went in and talked to the board, and they said yes.
What are you looking forward to? When I talked with Esty a little while ago and asked her if directing was everything it was cracked up to be, she said no. It was a whole bunch different. What are your expectations about directing?
I don't know if I have too many yet. I mean, I'm kind of going to see how it plays out. I mean, I guess my one expectation that I probably know is going to go wrong is that everything will happen according to schedule.
Nice.
That's my hope anyway.
Okay.
I have this feeling that that's probably not true from other shows that I've been in and witnessed,
Right.
but I guess that's kind of my hope.
Now, you have been on stage, so you're an actor. What is it? Are there things that you like about certain directors and certain things that you don't want to do as a director?
Yeah, I mean, I like when a director gives you an idea and allows you to kind of process it yourself, think about it, and then, if you're not quite following that path, come to you again and say, hey, maybe a little more this way. I guess, yeah, I like people who are easygoing and strict at the same time. So I guess that's kind of my goal, is to be strict enough to not be stepped on and let my actors know exactly what I want, but also loose enough to, let them be an actor themselves.
Right. Now, this is a thrust stage. This is a three-sided stage. We're all used to the proscenium, except for those of us who have worked here and done stuff.
Right.
Have you ever you've done something in this stage, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, just did The Good Doctor here.
Okay, so you know how to, at least you've been directed to act on this stage. How is that going to affect your Pillowman?
Well, it's going to create whereas proscenium, you're used to the frontal view.
Right.
Everything has to be played on more of an X, which, doesn't allow for as much person-to-person talk, because you always kind of have to be facing out more. But I like it. I do like the space, especially because it's so much more closer than the proscenium.
Mm-hmm.
With a play like Pillowman, it's almost perfect to draw you in even closer.
This thing is a tough play.
It is. It is. It's definitely a tough play. I guess, like I said, those themes you don't want to think about.
Right. Okay. What kind of actors? Not so much what kind of actors, but what are the characters that are in this play for your audition?
Such as?
What characters do you have?
Well, we have our main character, although the four of them have really big roles themselves, but is our writer Katurian. He's, I guess, the most normal of the characters, if you want to say. Although his childhood is what kind of creates this little disturbance in him. He's a kind of a calm-going guy, I see. Fits in, does well with the law, but has a bit of a disturbed sense of writing, based on the way his parents raised him. We have Michael, which is his brother, who is mentally retarded. Enjoys his stories. He likes to listen to them. He's a very curious character. And then we have Topolsky, who's kind of like the, as he puts in the play, the good cop. Very calm, always under control, solid kind of guy. And Ariel, who's pretty much opposite, kind of fluttery, quick to act on instinct. Those are the people we're looking at.
4 people, 4 men roles?
All men, yes.
Okay. And then, when do they audition?
We audition February 11th and 12th.
February 11 and 12, what time?
I believe it'll be about 6.
Okay. At the depot? Or downstairs in the studio?
Probably in the studio.
Studio, Schmuckles Theater, in the lower level of the Old Town Playhouse. And when are your performance dates?
April 11th and 12th.
April 11th? No, 11th and 12th is when they begin, when it opens?
Yes.
And then it's for?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Jeffrey Wallace, break a leg.
Well, thank you.
We're here with Jan Dalton on the main stage of the Old Town Playhouse, the auditorium, which is currently producing Over the River and Through the Woods. And in May, it'll produce your show, which is?
Oscar Wilde's An Ideal Husband.
Okay, Oscar Wilde. And you're going to audition that March 3rd, 4th?
4th and 5th.
4th and 5th. Is there going to be a callback?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. I hope to get it done in those 2 days.
Okay.
And the 6th being like first read-through.
All right.
I'm usually pretty good at that stuff. I sort of know what I'm looking for,
right.
And I don't, unless I get a huge turnout, which is always a hope. But,
well, speaking of you know what you want. What do you want? What are you looking for? What is the cast of characters? What are you expecting to see?
Well, I'm expecting a variety of ages. I'll just start with that. I have there's 2 younger men around 30, and there's 2 women about the same age. Perhaps one of the women can be a little younger. And then there's an older gentleman, and there's an older woman, and there is a 3rd woman, Miss Cheevely, who is the evil person in the show. She can be 30s as well. But then there's 2 other women at the very start. They're only in the opening scene, and Oscar Wilde has written them to be younger, but they can pretty much be any age. But they sort of typify the silly social things of the era, and they open the show and they have a scene there, but that's it for them. But it's 6 women and 5 men.
Okay, now when we say older and 30-ish and stuff.
Right.
We're not really locking into those ages, are we?
No.
We're going to hope that they're generally in the same time frame for
Right.
each of the characters. This is just so people don't say, well, I'm not that age, so I won't show up.
Well, you know, an interesting thing about that, the movie that was made in the late 90s, that director specifically cast the movie younger because he wanted to attract a younger crowd. And certainly if I had a bunch of people of that age show up, that would be a wonderful thing to do, but most plays around here we don't seem to be able to get that 20, 30-somethings. They're out in the big world, and you know, they come back when they're a little older.
Right.
So 30s and 40s would probably work just fine. And as far as the older characters go, that's why those two women, even though they're supposed to be younger at the start, they can be older women. I think it works as well. So
what do you expect when somebody auditions? What are you hoping that they'll do for you?
number one, I hope that they've read the play. I mean, that's my biggest thing. I'm not going to have a show of hands and then say, "Oh, you guys, you know, you can't audition." But I mean, that's just something a given. I'm an actor first, director second, and I look at it an audition pretty important thing. And I've read the show, and I know that I hope people coming in know what parts they're looking for. I expect to hear British accents because I want to do the show that way, and so bring your best British accent that you have. I will be reading cold readings from the script, and there'll be short scenes. There's also a couple speeches here and there that they can do, but I also want to see people how they look together. And it's very important that the young girl and Goring, Lord Goring, who's pretty much the main character in it, that they hit it off, that they look good together. Things like that.
Okay. Any memorized scripts? Somebody wants to come with a small piece memorized just to show you their chops or something?
If they have something, that's fine. But that usually adds pressure to people when they come to audition. A cold reading is usually a lot easier, a little more friendlier to get people to come in. So, what else do I want to say with that? There's posted at the website. There's a script, and there are also character descriptions of all these people and who they are, and just give a little background on each one of them. And this play too, I would just say, anyone with a computer, you go online, there is an amazing amount of stuff out there that has been written on Oscar Wilde, has been written on this show. There are productions you can watch on YouTube. And then there's the movies actually that they've made, like 3 or 4 movies over the years. All those things are available. So there's a lot of things, if you're into it like me, where you can access and learn a lot of things about the show.
What about the show itself? Comedy, drama?
It is a witty comedy drama, if you will. That's one of the things that attracted me to this. I did Importance of Being Earnest before. I'm familiar with Oscar Wilde. He's very witty. He's very fun. The way he turns a phrase and such. The difference between this one and Importance of Being Earnest and Ideal Husband is that it's witty and it's fun, and it's going along, and then it takes a turn to drama or seriousness, because this character, Mrs. Cheveley, comes in, and she basically is blackmailing this guy who is the up-and-coming politician. And she's not messing around. She's there to cause him trouble, and the wife knows her from school and didn't trust her and says she's a liar and all this. So you have a definite good versus evil sort of a thing, although everyone's got something that, you know, that they're hiding. And she is what I mean to say from all of that is it's even though it's witty and it's funny, it turns serious.
What I mean to say
I like that element of it.
So we're talking March 3rd, 4th, 5th, 4th and 5th,
Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock here on the main stage.
Right, on the main stage. And that will be, no, it won't be. I was going to say it'll be a clean stage, but it won't be, because we'll have Legally Blonde up running then.
Right, but apparently they're going to have things on trucks and there'll be a wide open space and all for it.
So and then you'll take names and then announce as soon as they're after.
Yeah, probably Tuesday night into Wednesday, because I want to have a first read-through on Wednesday, the 6th, and get going on it.
Right.
Rehearsals will be through those months of March and April, and the show runs May 3rd through the 18th.
May 3rd through the 18th. Great stuff. Jan Dalton, director of Ideal Husband. That goes up, the auditions in March and goes up in May.
Hey,
Thanks
right.
very much, and break a leg.
Thanks, Don.
Now don't.
Is not what we're after. What we're after is interpretation of the words as they mean to you, so that you can put your notes in the script and you can just do it really well read. And not try and memorize it, because memorizing actually adds a whole dynamic to the way it's performed and done, because the person's thinking about what they're trying to remember, and sometimes the nuance doesn't come out until they're really performed and well practiced. So that's my speech about this.
Theater of the voice.
Theater of the voice, good way. And so all of our notes and everything. So yes, there will be a couple of, to answer your questions, a couple of rehearsals in which, like I did with the original authors, none of them really were ready to start reading. So we had several rehearsals, and they'd stand up, and I'd talk about project scripts, and we can pass those around later. Okay. But this is an example. When I was born in Lark Harbor, Lark Harbor had only one way out, the sea. At Lark Harbor entrance, the eastern peak sloped down to the water. It formed a plateau we called the Grassy Hills. The sand and pebbles would roll down the steep hill behind us as we scrabbled to the top. It was there that...
Any old love song will do. The words don't really matter to me. I love the sound of your voice. Touch me, Maggie Ann. Your hands on my heart. The way you do, you're going all the way from my head to my toes. You know how. Now let go of me, Maggie Ann. You knew I wouldn't stay with you. I'll take my freedom now. I must go. But it's good being your cat.
Walk behind it back and forth in the fields, turning or working the life-giving soil. He loved working with them. I followed, barefooted in the fresh, newly turned earth, as the old steel-wheeled walk-behind cultivator was guided by my dad's strong arms, the long reins tied together and draped over his shoulders. If any plants got covered with dirt, it was my job.
A small wooden cabin, H5, was tucked in behind the largest outdoor auditorium, called the Bowl. A lonely light bulb with a pull chain hung in the center of the room, and the back of the cabin housed a single toilet, 2 midget sinks, and a shower. I remember being cold on those mornings. Often I would see my breath. My solution was to dress in my clothes at night. I could dress under the covers, slip on my sneakers and sweater, and be ready to run to the kitchen while hugging my body to keep warm. She used to wear it in her life.
Montalado? A pipe? Impossible! I'm in the middle of the carnival. I have my doubts, I replied, and I was silly enough to pay the full Amontillado price without consulting you in the matter. You were not to be found, and I was fearful of losing a bargain. Amontillado! I have my doubts.
And today is January the 19th, so we'll meet in 2 weeks again. We're planning our next performance, which is March 12th and 13th here at the Old Town Playhouse in the Schmuckle Theater. Our dress rehearsal will be on that Monday, March 11th. We usually have 3 or 4 rehearsals, so it's not a huge time commitment, and you're not memorizing, you're just becoming familiar with your script, and it's the theater of the voice, so we're trying to promote just a wonderful opportunity for everybody.
And anybody can join, 55 or older.
Anybody, yes.
And no experience necessary, and you meet every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, Saturday at 10 o'clock.
The office will know this stuff if we forget here or lose a date or track of dates.
Right.
Call the office.
Yes.
Sounds good. Barb Gooderl, thank you.
Thank you.
And break a leg.
Thank you.
On January 26th, we closed the show, our main stage show, Over the River and Through the Woods, and on January 27th, we struck the show. 9:30 we started, and as you can see, at 10 o'clock we got into it, but we still had a lot of backstage work we were doing. And then the furniture started going away, the bridge came in, the bridge went out, and the walls started tumbling down. By 11 o'clock, we were still struggling to get the walls down. Once the walls start coming down, it goes pretty fast. It's almost like Jericho. Walk around with your horns for a while and walls come tumbling down. By noon, we were well underway. Most of the stage was clear. We had a porch that was constructed like a porch that took us quite a while to get down. Once we got that down, we got it cleared off, and the house is ready to go for our next play, Legally Blonde. So here we are on the bare stage once again for main stage at the Playhouse. After we have struck the set of Over the River and Through the Woods. And now I'm beating the construction crew for Legally Blonde, which should be here any time. This is the proscenium, this opening right here. Right up here, we have two pipes that are that can come up and down. One of them has our black curtain on it for the main stage curtain. Brittany here, of course. Then we also have other curtains on this stage. One of which is vertical curtains we call legs, and there's three of them matching on each side of the stage, and they are used to either reduce the size of the stage when we pull them out, or more importantly, and the thing we use them most for, is to hide the backstage area from the audience. Another set of curtains are teasers. And these are the short curtains up here, and their job, we have them all the way along, is to hide the nasty bits from the audience, in that we have a lot of wires up here, we have instruments, we have fire suppression, so we use this to keep kind of a clean area. And then our last curtain is the Traveler. This is a curtain well behind the stage, at the very back end of the stage, and it's a Traveler because it actually opens and closes. And what we do with this is we can block the back so that people don't see the back. Behind that we can have stage artifacts, we can have pictures, we can do anything, we can hide whatever, we can have a pass-through for actors, performers, but we also can't see the nasty bits back here, which is our electrical panel and just a plain brick wall. That's the stage that we have at the Old Town Playhouse. With not much time left, let's get on the calendar for February and March. Good on paper, the improv group of the Old Town Playhouse performs their special brand of humor February 2nd and 16th. The doors open at 10:30 p.m. and the performances begin around 11 o'clock. Free coffee and sticky buns, but make sure you get there early as there is a good following and seats go fast. The first audition announcement is for Pillowman, directed by Jeffrey Wallace, February 11th and 12th, 7 p.m. at the Depot Theater. This is an adult play, so read the script before you decide to audition. Performances in April. Little Dog Laughs opens February 1st through 16th for performance, and it's a 7:30 curtain. This is an adult play about adult content. Be warned. Legally Blonde, our musical, opens March 1st through March 23rd, 7:30 curtain times with several 3 p.m. matinees on Sundays. This is a wonderful musical suited for all ages. Our next audition is The Ideal Husband, directed by Jan Dalton, March 4th and 5th at the Playhouse on main stage, more than likely. Come prepared, having read the script and knowing which part you would like to play. No guarantees, but the better prepared you are, the better your chances of getting cast. Performances of The Ideal Husband are in May. Last but not least, Age to Perfection. Our senior reading group will perform in the Schmuckle Theater in the lower level of the Old Town Playhouse, March 13-14. This is a staged reading group here, so be sure it's going to be pleasing. As always, you can contact the Playhouse at 231-947-2210 or check the website at oldtownplayhouse.com. It's a good idea to check as things may change without notice. This is all the Stage Door there is until next month. Enjoy your theater and break a leg.